Good evening, good people. Apologies, apologies, apologies. As you know, I'm broadcasting live from Ghana, so anything can happen when you're in the motherland, so you have to forgive me. I hope you'll forgive me. So welcome, welcome, welcome to the third episode of Speak with Dilys Series 6. Today we are going to be speaking about the menopause. However, before I go into all of that, let me just introduce myself for those of you who don't know who I am. So my name is Dilys. I am the host of Speak with Dilys. This is a show that I put together because I felt that it was necessary that we would have conversations that are in a safe space, conversations that will enable people to be able to be their authentic selves without being judged, without being ridiculed. And thankfully, I do believe that this show has been able to achieve that. So as I always do, thank you very much for making that possible. So what else do I do? So I'm the author of two books, actually. The first one being Predator or Prince, How to Find the Man of Their Dreams, Not Their Nightmares, and Not This Widow, which was my bestseller. I'm also an events host, so if you have an event and you would like somebody to MC for you, well, yours truly is here, ready, willing, and very able. I'm also a minister at New Glory Ministries in London, and I'm also a life coach. And I often speak about topics that obviously I specialize in. So that's what you will find on this show. So it'll be anything from relationships to, how to deal with trauma, you name it, it gets spoken about here. So in a nutshell, that is what I do. You have to forgive me. This is Africa. It's hot. And we had a little power outage, which is why I was running a little bit late, because I was thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to solve this? But, it happens. We're all good. So how are we feeling this evening? As you've joined, please do share. I didn't get to go on my personal page to let people know what I was going to be speaking about. There's been a lot going on for me this week, so please bear with me. So guys, how are you feeling? Give me a thumbs up if you're on Facebook, which I can actually look at on my phone because now I'm streaming from somewhere else. Faye, how are you doing? Samuel, lovely to have you on here. And Evelyn says, how are you doing? I have someone by the name of Facebook user saying, hi, Dilys. Type in the comments where you're watching from, because not, unless that's you, Shirley Ann. So thank you for being on here. She sent me a message saying that, are you still on? So yes, apologies for that. But I am here. We're having a very important conversation today about the menopause. And no, I'm not having hot flashes. I am in Ghana in like 37 degrees of heat. It is hot. It is really, really hot. And I don't do heat very well, to be honest. I don't do any extreme weather well, whether it's extreme cold or extreme heat. Obviously, as I'm going back to England, I better get used to extreme cold, either that or, find a way of paying those bills. How are you, Amadorin? Lovely to have you on here. Guys, as you join, please do share. Once you share, do put in that you have shared and where you're watching from. That would be great to know. So I obviously can welcome you to the show. Dakwa, I don't recognize that name. So if you are watching for the first time, welcome. I have somebody again saying, hello, I'm glad to be able to join and watch you today. How have you been? I have been very well. Whoever just posted that comment, if you could post your name, because I'm broadcasting now from StreamYard, I'm not broadcasting directly from Facebook. I can see your comments, but depending on, I don't know what it is. I may not necessarily be able to know, the name. Oh, Georgia from Monroe. Oh, lovely. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. So guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Do share. Now I can actually, check things on my phone to let you know what is going on. And let me see. So I have got some stuff here that I'm going to be referring to concerning the menopause. Vicky from Little Rock, Arkansas. Well, let me tell you, British people do not know how to pronounce that word. They say Arkansas. And I remember somebody, and I'll save their blushes, who was arguing so strongly, though it's Arkansas, like it's Arkansas. So there you go. So welcome, Vicky. Thanks for having you. Thanks for being on here. Face enjoyed the singing clip from Ghana. Oh, okay. So before we go into everything, I will just tell you a little bit about why I am in Ghana. So I've come to Ghana to launch a business called Delicious Goods and Services. And essentially what we do is we are a bespoke shopping service that allows you to place your shopping orders with us. Anything you want, it's anything. It's from foodstuffs to perfume, to champagne, to car parts, to kitchen tiles, whatever it is that you need, you contact my business. And what we do is we do the shopping for you and we send it to you in Ghana or in Nigeria or anywhere in the world, but we are starting with West Africa. So authentic goods that you can get from the UK or from the US. So that's what my business is doing. So I've actually partnered with a school called Fountain of Youth International School in Ghana. It's run by a lady called Patience Century. She's lovely. She's probably going to be on here at some point. And we're doing the launch on the 8th of October in Ghana. The school is actually in Usu. So if you want the details, it's going to be on my page. I think it is on my page already. So do let me know and I will give you the details for that. And yes, the singing clip that Faye was referring to, I'm going to be doing a couple of performances with the children. There's going to be a fashion show because we do children's clothes as well. We sell anything and everything that you need. So it saves you the trouble of having to jump on a plane to come to England or the States to go and do your shopping. You can spend your money and go somewhere nicer, like maybe go chill out in Dubai or somewhere, instead of having to come over to England. And the ticket prices, British Airways sort that out, is not great. So that's what we do in a nutshell. But we are not here for delicious goods and services. We are here for Speak with Dilys. Evelyn, thank you for joining on here from West London, Ealing. Guys, as you join, please do share. I'm going to start sharing actually on my page because I normally will jump in and I will do my little in the evening, but I didn't get to do that today. But you guys can do that for me. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Rosemary. How are you doing? Guys, do share as you join. So today we're going to be talking about the menopause. And as you know, normally the show is in two parts. So I have a guest and then we do the summary, but we're doing it the other way around this week because obviously I'm in Ghana. So things have changed a little bit. And, I didn't want to not be on here. I thought, we've got to give the people what they want. So I am here as usual. And yeah, we're going to be speaking about the menopause. And the reason why this topic has come about, and I think the last show that I did, a lot of women, a lot of you did speak up about the fact that, there isn't enough information about the menopause. A lot of you shared, little snippets about your personal journeys thus far with the menopause. And from when I did the special show with the NHS to do with cervical screening, we mentioned it then that we do need to have a show concerning the menopause because too many people don't know about it. And more frighteningly, a lot of women of menopausal age don't have a clue. So guys, as you are watching this, please do share. Now, if I look at the age range of women that watch my show, the highest numbers are within the 30-something to, I think it's up to 50-something. So it's an important age bracket for a very important topic. So what is the menopause? So I've got some notes here and I thought, you know what? Because normally I do this on my phone and then I have my computer beside me, but now it's the other way around, but it's all good. We can still manage. This is what I have here. So let me just read to you what today's topic is about in case you didn't get the memo. So guys, as you join, please do share. I said, I am today talking about a topic that may seem exclusive to women, but the knock-on effect on relationships and family is huge. So gentlemen, be a part of the conversation. Menopause. So let's pause and think about how little we know of something that is likely to affect most women at some point in their lives. Why is the menopause one of the least researched areas of medicine? Why aren't women prepared for the menopause until they are either having fertility issues or have reached the age of menopause? It's a long overdue conversation. Our daughters and sons need to know what really happens when we go through the change. The depression, suicidal thoughts, mood swings. Why is it only hot flashes that is spoken about? The Forgotten Woman is the third episode of Series 6 on Speak with Dilys. So that is what we're going to be speaking about. And yes, it does sound really gloomy, and I will start from my own experience. The first I really knew about the menopause was when I was working for a local authority in 2012 or 13, which would have made me 42 at the time. Now, there was a lady that worked for me because I managed a few, areas. There was a lady that worked for me and she was going on about how, she's so hot and that she's in such a, foul mood. She could, I don't want to use the word because now they censor so many things on this Facebook that I don't want to get blocked. But she wanted to her husband. So I was like, well, why? What's going on? And she said, I'm going through the menopause. So I'm thinking, yeah, menopause, all that happens is you get a bit hot and then your period stops. And she's like, no, I am having some serious mood swings and I'm really struggling. I was fascinated by what this woman was telling me. I wasn't 12, I wasn't 22, I wasn't 32, I was 42 years of age. And that was the first that I was hearing on how bad her experience was with the menopause. And I was like, wow. At the time I was running Fit Chicks. So for those of you that don't know, I was running an online fitness and lifestyle business called the Fit Chicks Club, which was basically a movement of women that were very unapologetically on their fitness journey in ways that were unique to them. So it was a great movement. But then obviously Who Will Hear My Cry set in when I started the charity, and I wasn't able to run the two. But we'll see how things go, and it may come back one of these days. But it was around that time that I had that conversation with that lady, and I was shocked. I was really surprised. And then I didn't really think much about it till later on. Now I'm 51. I have not started. So I'm still in the dark about what this whole menopause thing means. What I do know is, being the age that I am, amongst my friends and my peers, many of them, or many of you, are going through that change. And it is worrying as it is disturbing how little information we all have about the menopause and the ignorance surrounding it, the lack of compassion and empathy for women going through it, and the lack of support, the lack of medical awareness on what women go through. So therefore, everybody is just put in a box, and it doesn't look like the support for women is a bespoke service. It's like, oh, okay, well, wait till your periods don't come for a year and then come back and see us. But in between, where is the emotional and mental health support? Where are the other things that are showing up for that woman? Why are we not educating partners so that they're aware of what happens to a woman when she's going through the menopause? And we're going to go through some of that stuff. And it seems really dreary and frightening, but it is what it is. Guys, if you're not having any trouble watching this, i.e. the picture is clear, because sometimes the Wi-Fi can be a little bit dodgy, please do let me know in the comments box. At the moment, I can see myself, sometimes I can, but after the broadcast has aired is when I sometimes have an issue. So let me know in the comments box if everything is fine. Monica, thank you very much for sharing to your group, Live the Life You Love. And Yemisi Sis, thank you for being on here. Michelle Clark says it's a nuisance. Well, guys, if you are watching, please do share. And I'm going to do the same. So I am going to say live now, because as I said, normally I would broadcast this. Well, I would have a conversation on my personal page, but I wasn't able to do that this time. I'm so sorry, but it is what it is. Adrian, thank you for jumping on. I haven't seen you for a while. Hi, sis, how you doing? Is it all good? Yep, all good. Thank you very much for letting me know. Guys, if you're watching on Facebook and you are watching on the fan page, there is a little something called stars, which enables you to give a monetary gift to me if you are enjoying the content that you're watching, or you feel the content is helpful, or you just want to be nice. Yeah, so please do support. It enables me to pay for the subscription. It enables me to do sponsored ads, which I haven't done as yet because I need some more money, because Facebook have changed so much. But yeah, it's just there for support. So if you are watching, please do share, and please do support by giving stars as well. Adrian, thank you very much for inviting other people on. Guys, yeah, so you can share, or you can put people's names in the comment box. That would be helpful. This is a very important conversation, and I will be having a guest next week, which is so funny because I spoke to this lady about 8 years ago on something totally unrelated. And I just came across her and I was like, oh, she made some comments about the menopause, and it was really, really, informative. So I said, right, can I have you on my show? And she was like, yes. So it was just yesterday, after a couple of conversations, she said, I have actually spoken to you before. It's a very small world. And I always say, be nice to people because you never know when they're going to buck up under my it. Michelle, no worries. You do your thing. I'm sure you are listening. Thank you very much. So guys, this is where we're at. And this is what I'm going to, this is what jumped out to me. And I would like you ladies who are with partners to please listen in with them. I know sometimes they don't log in themselves, but they do, tune in and listen to the broadcast. Many of you said, oh, your husbands listen, in the background, which is great. But this is important. And as we continue the conversation, you'll realize the reason why I'm saying it's so important for us to have this conversation. What is the menopause? And I got this information from the Mayo Clinic, not mayonnaise clinic, just Mayo, M-A-Y, they're in the States. Menopause is the time that marks the end of your menstrual cycles. It's diagnosed after you've gone 12 months without a menstrual cycle, period. So without a menstrual period. Menopause can happen in your 40s or 50s, but the average age is 51 in the United States. As I said, I got this information from the States. Menopause is a natural biological process, but the physical symptoms such as hot flashes and emotional symptoms of menopause may disrupt your sleep, lower your energy, or affect emotional health. Pay attention. There are many effective treatments available, from lifestyle adjustments to hormone therapy. Now, here's the thing. I think for me personally, having spoken to many women about the menopause, many women having spoken to me over the years, is the fact that that description there doesn't speak to the level of disruption that is involved to the personal life of a woman going through menopause. So they talk about hot flashes, and that's probably about the only thing that everybody knows about the menopause. Now, I remember being in many offices where there'll be that woman who will always go and open the windows in the height of winter. And you're thinking, you selfish cow, we're all here absolutely freezing. Why the hell are you opening the window? Not knowing that the woman is going through the change. But again, we go back to how society views women, how we are discarded and seen as irrelevant and insignificant after a certain age. So that respect is not there. So by having that kind of, I don't know if mindset is the right word, but it's just an unspoken culture when it comes to women of a certain age, that a lot of women feel too self-conscious or embarrassed to say, actually, I'm going through the menopause. Because what that signifies, when a woman stops her period generally, it's like the evidence that you're now getting on in life, or you're now old, or you're past it. Now, depending on the woman, that is not an easy thing to be able to admit. And I believe for that reason, when here they speak of emotional health, I feel that we need to elaborate more what happens to your emotional health. You can't sleep because part of some of the symptoms are insomnia, and I'm going to get onto that. So you're cranky. Now, even though I may not be going through the change, I have a back issue. So since I would say around June, there's only been one night I have slept, which was 5 hours unbroken sleep, and I was ready to have a party. I was like, wow, whoop-de-doo, because I'm sleeping like 2 hours on the trot, and that's why I've been looking so tired. So for this to be a thing for women going through menopause, it is a real impact on the quality of your health and your life. But yet we are being told about it like, oh yeah, it could be this, it could be that, and you might experience a little bit of this. But the impact is not what women are made aware of. And I think therein lies the problem, that we are not prepared because we are not kept informed. We are taught in school, when it comes to biology and what have you, we're taught about periods, we're taught about, reproductive health, we're taught about, procreation. We're taught about all those things, but very rarely is attention given to what happens to a woman when she's going through the menopause, or even the run up to the menopause. What are the other things that she needs to pay attention to in terms of her health? And I think the medical field has done us a great injustice by not researching that area more and not making the information that we would need more readily available, because information is power. And if women had the information at hand a lot more than we have now concerning the menopause, then we would be better prepared and could prepare our families better. Because when I look back, I mean, you know, I don't really want to use people that I know personally, but I think I can pinpoint when my mum went through hers. I didn't know what was going on. You know, when you're living at home and you're thinking, oh, this person's a little bit moodier than they normally would be, or they're just being moody, full stop. Do you not think that it would be helpful if we had that additional information? Because we have women going through the menopause where depression has become a thing. Now, we all know that, you know, nowadays the conversation about depression is vast and wide. So the awareness level on depression has shot up, which is great. But we need to be able to do these things and manage that for women going through the menopause. So guys, put your comments in there. I will most certainly read them out. Please do share and let me know where you are watching from. As you know, I am in Ghana at the moment. I think there's a comment that just popped up here. Hello, Patience. How are you? We're just talking about your wonderful school, Fountain of Youth International School. It's a fantastic place. Somebody was saying that they saw the clip of me singing with the children. They really loved it. And I was saying, oh, I'm sure you will jump on here in a minute. So guys, yes, do share. And as I said, you know, apologies for the late running of the show, which is primarily because I'm in Africa. And sometimes we do have power outages, and sometimes we are not as well prepared as one would like to be. So yeah, so that's what it is. So let me just quickly share this. And if you have any comments that you would like to make, please put them in now, and the experiences as well that you would like to share, because I know that a lot of us, I'm just going to put this in here, a lot of us have, you know, commented on, you know, what the experiences have been, and it has been difficult. Paige says, I'm excellent and enjoying. Grace, thank you. Thank you too. I'm enjoying this, the absolute same as well. It's been an amazing week. And, you know, for those of you that have just joined, the conversation is about the menopause. And yes, it might seem, hello, Princess, how are you doing? And yes, it might seem like a dreary topic, but that's the whole point. We need to start to have these conversations that allow us to be better informed and better equipped. As I'm sharing, as I'm doing my bit to share, so as I'm sharing, you share, I am actually going to just read a little bit more about what we are going to be talking about and what we should be looking out for, and some of the things that we should know and don't know. And as I said, being a woman of my age, I haven't started yet. So the conversation is still important to me so that I can educate myself. Now, I had a conversation with one of my sisters, and she was saying that, you know, did you know that it's important to know, as a general rule, when your mother went through the menopause, because it can indicate when you are likely to go through yours, and it helps you to plan or to better understand, you know, when you will be at your most fertile or your most fertile age to have children. And I was like, wow, I did not know that. I am 51 years of age. I didn't know. And I think it's frightening that so many women, all we know is that, oh, you're going to get a bit hot and your periods are going to stop, because that is essentially all we are told. And it's really not good enough. So very quickly, I am going to get on to here as well. And do let people know that they can watch this on YouTube as well. So I'm broadcasting from both places. If you are watching from Facebook on the fan page, you will see stars there. If you would like to support me with stars, please do that. It helps me to keep paying for some of this stuff. As you can see now, I broadcast from StreamYard, and they do like to have some money every month. So I have to come up with goods, otherwise they can cut me off. So yes, your support would be very, very much appreciated. So let's go. So this is the stuff that made me think, wow, I do really need to read up so that I'm better prepared. There are 3 stages of menopause, as I'm sure you know. And if you don't, you'll know now. Perimenopause, so that's the period before you go into the main phase of or journey of the menopause, where you have to not have had a period for 12 months. That's when it's like, yeah, right, you are officially in your menopausal state. And obviously postmenopause, that's afterwards. So perimenopause is the time leading up to menopause. It describes a time when hormones start to decline and menstrual cycles become erratic and irregular. So yes, it can be very unpredictable. You don't know when your periods are coming. You don't know how long they're going to last for. Some women, it can be very, very heavy. Some of it can be light. Some can be very prolonged. So, and ladies, if you have daughters, watch with your daughters. Because like I said, finding out about the menopause in my 40s, I think is pretty pathetic. We need to let our young daughters know. We need to let our sons know if they have any intentions of being with a woman, then they need to have this information, because a lot of men and a lot of relationships, and I'm going to get onto that later, have suffered as a result of women going through the menopause, the women not understanding what's going on with them, and their marriages and relationships just completely taking a complete and utter nosedive, which is obviously not good. So on my notes I have here, it says, how long do menopause symptoms last? This frightened me. Once in menopause, i.e. you haven't had a period for 12 months, and on into postmenopause, the symptoms may continue, check this out, for up to 7 to 14 years. That's crazy. But they decrease in frequency and intensity. Some women report their symptoms last longer. The most common symptoms include hot flashes. And yes, we know that. Everybody tells us about these hot flashes. That's all they ever tell us. But like I said, it's a lot more than that. And it says, and so I put on my notes, lack of information is what is really troubling us. And if we had the information, that in itself would be a form of effective treatment. Because if we have the information, we know that, right, at this age, for example, when we face these symptoms, this is how we want to look after our diet, or maybe more conscientious about exercise, or looking at alternative medication or alternative treatments. Hi, Tasha, thank you for joining. Princess, great, thanks. Watching from Milton Keynes. Lovely to have you on here, Princess. So as you join, please let me know where you're watching from so I can greet you. And once you share, do allow me to know that as well. So lack of information is what I feel is the most disempowering thing for women going through the menopause. Irregular periods, yes. And we're not kids on this show. Vaginal dryness. The amount of women I've heard complain about this, because obviously when you are in the throes of passion, it helps things move along nicely. If you are, lubricating as one should during that time. Obviously, it's got here hot flashes, the chills, night sweats, sleep problems, as we've mentioned before, mood changes, weight gain, slow down metabolism. And I think that the metabolism issue is also important, because I have seen a lot of people that are into fitness and nutrition and what have you, and say, look, when you're a woman of a certain age, your metabolism slows down. And therefore, if you want to lose weight and stay fit, it's not the conventional methods of exercise and diet that you would use when, let's say, you were in your 20s or 30s. So that is important as well. Hi, William. I'm so glad to see a man on here. We are talking about the menopause. You have a wife. I think it's great that you're here so that you also have that education. Maybe what she doesn't know, you can go back and tell her. Because what we are saying is we don't seem to have the information that we need in regards to the menopause. Ajay Prema says, hi, I'm watching from London. Thank you very much for joining. Guys, I will keep on repeating, do share. As I said, so much was going on for me this week. I was not able to let everyone know what was happening with today's show as much as I would have wanted to. And obviously, it's a very important topic that many of you have asked that I do speak about. So, the more we get on this live, the better. So, if we go through the list of things that women experience, they may seem like no big deal. But depending on the severity is what really makes it difficult to deal with. So, for example, mood swings Can you imagine being perfectly, in quote, normal? Then you start going through the menopause and you're having mood swings. It says here, some women up to 14 years. It's crazy, and people will refer to you as being crazy. And why I think this is important is the fact that you go through the menopause at that age, or from those ages, on average 45, it happens to some women a lot younger than that, way into, your 50s. You aren't of pensionable age at that stage. So unless you're working from home or you're working on your own, you still have to interact with people. Now you're having to interact with people who are by and large ignorant of what you are going through, even though it's very natural, very normal, and a very common process. But if we are not educating people, how are women in the workplace supported, for example, if they are going through the menopause? And I would say they can't be, because even as a woman, as I mentioned before, in my 40s, I would complain bitterly because I really do, I'm very extreme. Either I feel really hot or I feel really cold. And I've always been like that. So when I'm in an office, in winter, and somebody decides to open the windows, I'm thinking, you are damn selfish. It is cold, it's wintertime. But that woman, I've heard people describe those hot flashes like heat just rising from their feet and going into their head, and they just feel like they're on fire. And you're supposed to go to work and function like a man would function. And I say that because obviously they don't go through anything like that. We do. And so it's important that we are able to educate people around us so that people can support us and that we are supported in the workplace, because that's the majority of where we're going to be spending our time. And we should try and start to have this conversation to remove the stigma from women going through menopause. And this is why ageism is so dangerous. This is why even as younger women, when you want to write off older women, oh, just because she's older, girlfriend, let me tell you something, you're on your way. And we as women have to be advocates for other women so that we can make these spaces safe. Because most women I see, okay, so I've got my fan on because it's hot. And, I can already see how my face is shining in this broadcast, but it is what it is. I've got my fan, not because I'm going through the chamber, because it's hot and the air conditioner is over there. Because if I put the one on up here, you're going to hear it and it's going to make too much noise. So I have to keep the room cool. Most women, you see them when they're going through an episode, they like, they call it, oh my God, it's so hot. Whew. And it's said with embarrassment. It's never said, oh, I'm having a moment. I'm actually going through the menopause and I'm just feeling a bit hot, so I just need to cool down. Let me just cool down. I'll be with you in a second. I am yet to see a woman talk about her hot flashes when she's having an episode without doing that little laugh and that embarrassed giggle. And it's unfortunate, and that shouldn't really be allowed to happen. Like I said, we have to start to create those safe spaces. Adrian says, just sent stars, please confirm that you got them. It isn't clear to me. Oh, okay, thank you. Let me check. Because as I said, now that I'm on my phone, I can check my Facebook. Let's have a look. Let's see what's going on. Because I know that with the stars things, some of you did say that you couldn't see where it was. Okay. Let me go into the comments. Oops. I can't see it as yet, but sometimes it does take time to come through. So I wouldn't worry. And if it doesn't, I'm going to see Zuckerberg. Don't worry about it. So yeah, sometimes it does come up. So I'll double check again. But thank you very much for that, Adrian. Lynette, thank you for joining as well. I know, Lynette, I know you're watching from London, I'm sure. So this is part of why I felt that it's important that we talk about this, making it normal. So if, let's say, you're having sex with your husband, your partner, whatever, and you're experiencing vaginal dryness, and you don't know that this is one of the symptoms, that could be interpreted. If this is not something that you ever suffered with before, that could be interpreted wrongly. But maybe you're not into the sex, or you've gone off your partner. So it's these little things that seemingly appear to be insignificant that do have an impact. So the conversations around what am I to expect if I start going through the menopause is important. And the other thing that I have heard is women going to their GPs. Obviously, I'm from England, so women going to their general practitioners about the menopause and them being just dismissed. I've heard this a lot, that a lot of women just feel dismissed, that, oh, you're just going through the menopause. There's no just about it when you look at the impact on that woman's life. So I think, again, a lot more has to be done in terms of support and conversations, giving women that time to say, listen, as you have just started this journey of going through, of the menopause, we don't know how you're going to react. So if you find that your mental health is declining, or your mental health is changing, or if you feel that there is anything happening to you down below that is unusual, or if you're finding that you're feeling angry and your mood is changing, come and speak to us so that we can see what we can do. That conversation alone, I am telling you, and I know for a fact, would go a very, very, very long way for women to feel supported and heard going through that process. As opposed to this very blasé, oh, you're going through the menopause, yeah, you're going to experience da, 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 da. And it's made to sound that it's so normal and inconsequential. Now, until I started reading up on what I was going to be speaking about, I never knew that symptoms could last from 7 to 14 years. That is a shock to me. And I'm thinking, if I am a woman who is going through, let's say, mood changes, and it's extreme, what is the impact on my family? Do you not think that, if I was living at home with a husband, that he has the right to know, or a partner, because he needs to be prepared. There needs to be that support. So let me just read a couple of comments. Lynette says, greetings, Dilys, evening one and all. Sorry I'm late to the party. I had my mummy hat on for a change, bless you. Monica Martini Janke says, I do feel for all the women going through the menopause. My GP took me off my contraception just over a year ago, did a blood test and said I was postmenopausal. So shocked, never had hot flashes or any symptoms. You are blessed, and I want whatever you're having, because you are amongst the few that managed to dodge that bullet, and you're very blessed. Let's hear from some other women, because I mean, the other broadcast that wasn't about the menopause, I did have a lot of women saying, oh my gosh, I'm really suffering, I'm going through so much, I really hate it, and all of that, which, of course you do, because it's not nice. And like I said, unfortunately, I am not speaking from a point of experience, but I will have a lady on next week that will be speaking to me about her experience. And I was hoping to have my nurse back, not my personal nurse, but the nurse that spoke about the cervical screening, but I'm not sure if I will be able to get her on here, but if I can, I will. And the other thing that I'm looking to do as well is to have not just one guest, but other women to come on and join the broadcast next week, so that we have a conversation and we begin to normalize this whole thing of, of the menopause, and it not being embarrassing. And like I said, it's because of this whole thing of, it means you're no longer young, and women feeling self-conscious, about that. Adrian and Doreen, if you have commented, because all I can see are your names. Let me check here and see what's happening over here. I can't see your comment if you have made a comment, Doreen and Adrian. But I will be able to check on here if that's the case. Coolio. So yeah, that is essentially where I think we can just do better. So by having these ladies on the show and them sharing their experiences. Okay, Monica's saying, yes, my sex drive is through the roof right now. I don't know why this is happening to me. I love the emoji that you just put there. She's put the, eye roll emoji. That's hilarious. Well, I'm sure your partner's happy. Well, hopefully he's happy. If it's not, we'll pour him, But you see, and this is why I'm saying that we have to just have these conversations and be normal. And for some women, it's the complete opposite, where they have no sex drive at all. What is the impact, on your partner if he has a high sex drive? How do you manage that? So again, who is going to be having this conversation with these women for us to know that this is what you potentially have waiting for you? Because not everybody will be as blessed as Monica that can actually go through that whole process and be like, oh, really? That happened? All right, okay, fine. It's business as usual. That isn't the story for many women. So let's get informed and let's get prepared. And you see, it's also about taking care of your health, not just the mental health, but your physical health. Now, okay, so I may not be going through the change, but I know that I need to. I've had issues with my back, so that in itself means I really need to sort myself out and start to do more exercises, maybe do some Pilates and stuff to strengthen my core, little things, because it's also about the feel-good factor. Exercise does obviously release those feel-good factor hormones, and that helps with your mood as well. Now, I know there are some natural remedies. I know there's HRT treatment. I don't know, hormone replacement treatment. I don't know enough about it. I'm literally one of the women that I'm speaking to tonight. People are completely green about this whole experience and wanting to be prepared so that I can prepare my loved ones around me so that I can be supported. And, I would hope that, workplaces begin to have, be it workshops or talks about health that include conversations about the menopause. Super important. So one of the things I had written down here, treatments, triglycerides test, if I pronounce that properly. If I haven't, shoot me. It's a blood test that measures the amount of fat in your body called triglycerides. High triglycerides may increase your risk for a heart attack or stroke. A triglyceride test can help you decide if you need to take action to lower your risk. Your body uses triglycerides for energy. Keep up with regular visits with your doctor for preventative health care and any medical concerns. Continue getting these appointments during and after the menopause. So obviously, because you're going through the change, there are certain tests that then become more important for you to have for the very reason that you're going through the change. So it says here, preventive health as you age may include recommended health screening tests, such as colonoscopy, that's looking in your bum, mammography, looking at your boobs, and as I mentioned, triglyceride screening. Your doctor might recommend other tests and exams too, including thyroid testing if suggested by your history and breast and pelvic exams. So these are some of the things that we can read about, so that if our doctors don't recommend them or don't mention them, we can be proactive in saying that, right, as you've now, confirmed that, I've started going through the change or what have you, when do you suggest I have this test or that test or that test? Now it has here, always seek medical advice if you have bleeding from your vagina after the menopause, because essentially, as we said, the menopause means the end of your periods. So you should not be bleeding. So if you find that you are bleeding after you have had the menopause, you need to go and seek medical attention immediately. And that would include if you start bleeding during sex, because yes, women over 50 do have sex, believe you me. It's important that you do that, or women that have, gone through the menopause, still sexually active. So it's important to do make a note of that. Now, I've got written here as well, complications. Guys, if you're watching, please do share. Actually, I can put that here. After menopause, your risk of certain medical conditions increases. Examples include, so we've got all this lovely stuff to look forward to just because our periods have stopped. Heart and blood vessel, cardiovascular disease. When your estrogen levels decline, your risk of cardiovascular disease increases. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in women as well as in men. That is interesting. So it's important to get regular exercise, eat a healthy diet, and maintain a normal weight. Ask your doctor for advice on how to protect your heart, such as how to reduce your cholesterol or blood pressure if it is too high. So this is another thing that we need to look at. Again, until I started doing the research for this show, I was not aware of these things. The next one, which is also interesting, or I'm trying not to use the word worrying because I don't want this to be a conversation that becomes scaremongering. Information is power. And so therefore, when we have these conversations, we are empowered to take control of our health. That is essentially what we are doing here. Giving information, absorbing information, having a starting point so that we can research more on what it is that we need to know about the menopause. Okay, osteoporosis. This condition causes bones to become brittle and weak, leading to an increased risk of fractures. During the first few years after menopause, you may lose bone density at a rapid rate, increasing your risk of osteoporosis. Postmenopausal women with osteoporosis are especially susceptible to fracture of their spine, hips, and wrists. So what can we do? Are there things that we can take in terms of supplements? Exercise, it says here. Yes, it says, yes, and basically being aware that this is something that we potentially could face. Now, I know that there are supplements for bones, like cod liver oil, I think it is. I think, don't laugh, because I'm so poor when it comes to taking vitamins and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, I think zinc, I'm not sure, calcium are other things that, help with bones. So like I said, I'm just as green as a lot of you watching this. But this is the information that we have available to us. If I wasn't doing this show, I would not have known that osteoporosis is something that women have to be aware of because they've gone through the menopause. I would not associate the cessation of periods to my bones being brittle. I just wouldn't. Right. Urinary incontinence. As the tissues of your vagina and urethra lose elasticity, you may experience frequent, sudden, strong urges to urinate, followed by an involuntary loss of urine, urge incontinence it's called, or the loss of urine with coughing, laughing, or lifting, stress incontinence. You may have urinary tract infections more often. Someone says turmeric and magnesium. That's the word I was looking for, magnesium. I did say I was ignorant, didn't I? Hi, Sister Kosi, how are you doing? Says educative, thanks. Thank you for being on here and watching. If you're watching, please do share to 5 women that you know that are of the age that medically we would expect them to be going through the menopause, and share it with 5 more who aren't. This is about information. So I really want to see a lot of shares, especially by the women watching this. There's no point us keeping this to ourselves. This show specifically was about giving women information about the menopause and them being aware with what was happening with their body so that we could be proactive in looking after our physical and mental and emotional health, as well as everything else. Okay, so strengthening pelvic floor muscles with Kegel exercises and using a topical vaginal estrogen may help relieve symptoms of incontinence. Hormone therapy may also be an effective treatment option for menopausal urinary tract and vaginal changes that can result in urinary incontinence. So if you don't know what pelvic floor exercises are, I will describe them 2 ways. So they are the exercises that you are asked to do when you are pregnant and are going to have a baby, because it helps get you back in shape after you've had a baby. Or for those that have not had children, it's the exercise I hope you women are doing when you are having sex. And that is squeezing your vagina and letting go. So having this kind of action, yeah? I have to laugh because I'm sure some of you are like, what? Well, come and talk to me. But that is what the pelvic floor exercises are. So it's squeezing your vagina and your buttocks. And what also helps tighten your vaginal muscles as well is exercise. Lunges, which I hate doing, but lunges as well, and squats actually do help. That action, not only does it help to build your core, but it also helps to tighten your vagina. So you naturally lose elasticity as you get older. And that, as I just read, does contribute to that whole urinary incontinence thing. But it's not something, again, that can't be prevented if you are proactive. And as somebody that, I mean, I've always just instinctively always done pelvic floor exercises. I just think it's just a habit of mine. So I haven't had, it's not something that I have to now constantly start doing. But again, if women knew that this is something that would affect them, whether it be their sex life or their, you know, or make them or contribute to them being incontinent, then I am sure we would be a lot more proactive in making sure that our vaginal walls were tight to prevent that from happening, and that we strengthen our pelvic floor. Guys, please share, because I cannot see a lot of people sharing this, because I'm not saying thank you enough in the comment box. So those of you watching, just type in the comments names of 5 women that you know are of a certain age. And this is not to embarrass anyone. This is for us to have more information. Ajwa says, turmeric and magnesium are supplements, good for the change. Excellent, thank you for that. Chris said, I am good and I'm happy to be here. I'm a right candidate for today's topic. God bless you, dear. God bless you too, sis. I think everybody should be a good candidate for today's topic, because like I said, we need to really start to support each other. So the men need to support women. I'm not being funny. If you're a man and you are managing a workforce that are predominantly women, and you have a wide, a vast age range, and within that age range, it involves women of my age and above, you need to know about the menopause. Because for you to be able to take care of your staff effectively, you've got to know what's going on with them. And we should be able to be confident and bold to say to our male managers, if we have them, I'm going through the change. So I'm not in the best of moods today. Or even saying, I'm going through the change, so my memory, because the change also affects your memory and your ability to retain information. Who would have thought that? So even that is something where we need to be able to communicate this, again, so that people can support us better. Audrey, thank you very much for sharing, and Ajwa Premper as well. Thank you so much. So strengthening pelvic floor muscles with Kegel exercises and using a topical vaginal estrogen may help reduce symptoms of incontinence. Now, there are these things called Kegel balls. Now, you insert them into your vagina. You can Google them, and you put it in your vagina. Some of them do have exercises. There was one I got the name of. If I remember, I will look for it for next week's show. Now, I don't have it, but I intend on getting it because I just think it's a brilliant apparatus to have. And what it does is it helps you strengthen your pelvic floor muscles by, I think from memory, I'm doing this from memory, so do forgive me if I get it wrong. You connect it to a computer or to your phone, and it gives you different exercises that you can do to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles. Now, from what I recall, it's kind of like different games that you can play. And I know it sounds funny, but when it comes to things that don't come naturally to people, or we don't know the importance of it, to make it fun and not like work, I think is excellent. So whoever developed it, I think has done a brilliant job, because I read the reviews on it and it was great. I think it retailed, I don't want to put you off, I can't remember. I will go find out the name of this Kegel exercise wand thing. And as I said, you put it in your vagina, you hook it up, so you program it, it's electronic, and on your phone, it will tell you what exercises to do. Now, if you can't afford that, or whatever, you can lay on your bed, you put your legs apart, and you squeeze. You don't raise your body, but it's difficult to explain. And I'm obviously not going to demonstrate it. Can you imagine me doing a demonstration on how you can do pelvic floor exercises on Speak with Dilys? That would never happen. But, I'm just trying to help some of you ladies here. If you lie on your back, legs apart, maybe that wide apart, and just squeeze. Count to 10 and let go. Squeeze, count to 10 and let go. And that's how you can do, pelvic floor exercises. Go on YouTube. There are people that can explain it a lot better than me. But just to give you an idea of what they are, just in case people don't know that they're called pelvic floor exercises. We take a lot for granted where we think that people understand the language or that we use for these things. Not everybody does. Okay, so there's that. Lynette says, sorry, I went off topic. I have to say from my experience, after having my son, there's not enough talk about pelvic floor muscle strengthening. I think I got given leaflets. Can't really remember. Maybe things have changed since 23 years ago. Have things changed? I don't know. All I know is that, you see, for me, I'm not a good person to ask, because naturally, anything to do with emotional or sexual health or sex generally, I like to read about it. It's my area of work. So I naturally gravitate towards certain topics and certain things that would enable me to educate myself. So I've always known about pelvic floor exercises. That's why I said before, pelvic floor exercises are the thing that you do when you're having sex and you squeeze your vagina. And then I said to myself, actually, some women don't know how to do that even. So using pelvic floor exercises, that phrase, and assuming that women know what we're talking about. No, not every woman does that when she's having sex. Do you understand? And like I said, this is an adult show and we're grown-ups. So I will go there and have that conversation. So the short answer to your question, Lynette, is I don't know. I have no clue, but if people don't know, and that's why I said it's important that we share this and we have this conversation, that people, do get educated. Monica says, so many amazing exercises to strengthen your pelvic floor. I have balls like weights and insert. They're awesome. Yes. So as I was saying, you put them inside your vagina and, it teaches you how to squeeze. And make sure you get ones that fit, because sometimes they are too big for certain people. Some are too small. So, again, do your research and get to know yourself and get to know your bodies. It's important that within all of this, we get to know our bodies as well. Of course, I said we need a demonstration, please. Maybe another time. There ain't no way. Can you imagine me hooking up my camera on Speak with Dilys, and there I am laying on my bed with my legs akimbo. I'm sorry, but the mere thought of that, I just think it's hilarious. It ain't never gonna happen. No way. There is just no way. The only demonstration that you will have will be next week, Saturday, when I'm doing the launch of my business. That one, I'll do that. Sexual function, vaginal dryness. This is just some of the complications I'm going through really quickly. Sexual function, vaginal dryness from decreased moisture production. I mentioned that earlier on. And loss of elasticity can cause discomfort. So just imagine that. So you're extremely dry, and then there's that friction, whilst you're trying to have sex, and there is no, action going on down there. It's not going to be enjoyable for you. I doubt very much that it will be enjoyable for your mate. So that loss of elasticity is what we're saying doesn't happen when, because they don't make me laugh, is what we're saying will happen if you don't do your pelvic floor exercises. So where you should be tight, you just become wider and wider, and the walls around the vagina become smoother, because with most women, what I've been told, that you do have those vaginal walls is, the tighter they are is what enables that friction to be pleasurable to your mate. So when the vagina is so dry, that friction is not pleasurable, or there is no friction because you've become so wide. So it's important that we do take care of ourselves down below. Okay, so it says also decreased sensation, yet may reduce your desire for sexual activity. Of course, because if you can't feel anything, really, what's the point? You can't feel nothing, the man can't feel nothing, and you're just both there just looking at each other thinking, we can't feel nothing. So yes, so it does affect your sex drive, and we want to still be able to enjoy sex and what have you until we die, quite frankly. And there is nowhere that says you're too old to have sex. That's why Viagra was created, for the men. Yes, right. So water-based vaginal moisturizers and lubricants will help or may help. So if a vaginal lubricant isn't enough, many women benefit from the use of local vaginal estrogen treatment, available as a vaginal cream, tablet, or ring. I, again, did not know this until I started researching. So if there's any woman that is watching this that is suffering from vaginal dryness as a result of the menopause, and your sex life is suffering, well, hopefully some of these remedies will be helpful to you. Weight gain, many women gain weight during the menopausal transition and after menopause because metabolisms slow down. I think, again, I mentioned this earlier. that you need to look at your metabolism and then look at other ways where you can reset it, and it can be reset. There are many people who are into fitness that are, offering, that kind of support, and understand how the body of women work after a certain age, or when menopause kicks in, so that they can have a more effective way of managing weight loss. So you may need to eat less and exercise more to maintain your current weight, but again, it's how to do it. So let me just quickly read. Just don't make me laugh, a big belly laugh, because you'll see the river of Babylon. Oh, bless you. That's from Lynette. So yes, I mean, in the meantime, there are incontinence underwear that you can use to save your blushes, but it's not all doom and gloom. What I hope we have gotten from today is that there are solutions, there are things that can be done, and that we should seek as much information and support that we can. So that brings me to the end of Speak with Dilys, Series 6, Episode 3. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation today. I know we didn't have as many on here as we would have liked, but again, as I said, unfortunately, things did lag a little bit behind. I had a bit of technical issues before, but you can always catch it on the replay. So if you do watch this on the replay, please do put replay and where you're watching from. That would be brilliant. If you are watching via Facebook and you see the icon for stars, that enables you to give a gift to support the work that I do and the content that I give, that would be amazing. Please do consider doing that. So now that I have officially ended this week's episode, Prince, very informative. Thank you for watching. Or said thank you, Dilys. Useful info. Yeah, I mean, it was useful for me even reading it. And I have to say, I didn't think that I was going to get such a laugh. Somebody asked if they could have a demonstration. That is just hilarious. Lynette says, thanks everyone for your suggestions. I will look into them. Hi, Kuya Sakudi, how are you doing, my lovely? I didn't know that you were watching. Thank you for being on here. Yes, so for those of you that posted information about the supplements and what have you, that is great. Do join me at the same time next week. I will have a guest, and if you would like to appear on the show, do let me know, because what I am thinking is to have more than one person on, so that we can have a nice girly conversation about the different experiences we are having or not. As I said, I'm not yet on that road yet, but guaranteed when I am, I will let you know, and we will have a conversation. And I'm open like that. We shouldn't be ashamed or embarrassed. It'd be silly. It says, thanks for such an important topic which we failed to address. Yeah, and let's normalize this and let's have this conversation even more. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Now, as you know, I am speaking from Ghana. Actually, I can turn this off now because I'm speaking from Ghana, and I am having an event next week, Saturday, which will be Saturday, the 8th of October, at the Fountain of Youth International School in Usu, Accra, Ghana. Now, this is the launch of my business called Delicious Goods and Services, and essentially what we do is provide a bespoke shopping service for people who live in Ghana that would like goods from abroad. So what you do in a nutshell is you contact us, you tell us what you want, we go and do the shopping for you, we package it, we either send it by air or by sea straight to your door. And when I say anything, I mean anything from car parts to bathroom tiles, to a toilet seat, to car tires, to clothes, to shoes, to champagne, to whatever it is that you want and need, baby goods, baby products, anything that you need from overseas, we will source it and have it packaged and sent to you. So come next week to the Fountain of Youth International School. We are having an actual fun fest. It's a fun day for all the family. There's going to be games. There's going to be lots of nice food, cupcakes. There's going to be a fashion show. There are going to be live performances. And some of you have seen a snippet of it on my Facebook where I was singing with the children. Absolutely beautiful experience, even for me. I mean, I've already reached the highlight of my journey here in Ghana, just by being with the children and speaking into their lives, and they've been such a blessing. So Fountain of Youth International School will be happening live from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. next week, Saturday, on the 8th of October. So do join me. If you would like to come, you'd like the details, you can actually find it on my Facebook, but do let me know. Send me a inbox message and I shall respond gladly. So I hope you have enjoyed today. Sharon says, yes, I saw it. It was awesome. Let me tell you, the children, absolutely amazing. and they're so funny. And very quickly before I go off, what has touched my heart so much is very different from when I was in school, because I went to school in Ghana here for a little bit, but the children are so confident and so beautiful that I know it's a fantastic school. Fantastic. I mean, there's other things that I could share, but I will leave that for another time. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Those of you in Ghana, I would love to see you. And let me know if you need, if there's anything that you want to sell on the day. You know, we do have some vendors coming, you know, there's ice cream, there's all sorts of stuff. So do let me know, and I will see what I can do for you. But Saturday, 8th of October, Fountain of Youth International School in Osu, Accra, Ghana. That's where you are going to find me. But for now, goodbye, good evening, have a wonderful week, and I shall see you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.